Welcome back to Marketing Mondays. We're back for 2025, and our big goal this year is marketing mastery. Um, I know a lot of y'all that have joined us in the past. We did 35 episodes last year of Marketing Mondays, and so this year we're taking it up like another notch. It's not to be intimidating. It's just really kind of build off of what we started last year and provide more examples and provide more case studies and then just be available as you start to put all of these great ideas into practice. So, one thing before we get started, I wanted to just give a shout out to our amazing Taylor and the team at Uplift because if you haven't been to the Uplift website, you'll see a few changes. You should go check it out under the main navigation. If you click on programs, there is a slew of just amazing recordings and webinars and insights, including marketing mastery. And so if you don't see something there that you're interested in, just let us know and we can either add it to our list of marketing topics or maybe even create something specifically for you, especially if we get a lot of requests for it. So anyway, with that, let's look at today's episode of Marketing Mondays Mastery on winter tourism. So how to keep your marketing hot in February and March. And I think that we can all agree, no matter where you are in North Carolina, it's been an unusually chilly winter. And so it should come as no surprise that people now, and I know we're in this bucket, my family and I and my kiddos, we are ready to get out and go somewhere. So real quick, if you haven't met me before, I think we've all met, but if we haven't, my name is TJ Warchansky. I am the PR manager for Uplift and also help out with marketing programming. Our other host, Kara Treadway, is unable to join us today, but she plans to be back with us next week. So with that, let's look at today's blueprint. And so we're going to start off today with talking about strategic messaging and tailoring your campaigns to different audiences. And then next we'll cover creative campaigns using bundled offers, maybe some limited time deals to create that excitement, that interest. And then we'll also discuss how to leverage events by promoting winter activities to attract visitors. Another key strategy we'll look at is retargeting past visitors, looking at that low-hanging fruit, folks that have already been, are guests of ours or are customers of ours, and then reaching out to them with personalized campaigns to encourage those repeat bookings. And then we'll also talk about the power of user-generated content. I know we see it everywhere these days, from TV commercials to social media, websites. And that really, we'll get into how to encourage your guests to share their experiences. And then we'll wrap it up with some success stories, some real-world examples of these strategies and actions. So let's get started with making your winter marketing a success. All right, so strategic messaging for those off-peak months. So let's talk a little bit about what it is and why it's important. It's all about staying top of mind with your audience. During the winter months, traditionally travel slows down, particularly from about now through February and March. We've had the holidays, and there's usually a little bit of carryover into January, especially with the Martin Luther King holiday. Now we're kind of in that lower demand period. So it's critical to maintain engagement by tailoring your message to address the unique needs of your winter travelers. Have they been inside a lot? Now they're looking to get outside, or are they just, they got through the holidays and now they're just ready to go do some fun experiences or, eat some good food. So focus on the perks of off-peak travel. Maybe it's less crowded destinations. Usually with that, you have lower demand and you could, a lot of places have lower prices, or if you don't practice dynamic pricing, you might look into some seasonal discounts or seasonal value added to really bring folks in to provide them with less people and also maybe a better value for what you're offering. And of course, a peaceful, relaxing experience. So by highlighting these benefits, that ensures that your business, your destination remains relevant, top of mind, and that you're reaching the right people with those specific offers. So you can segment your audience, whether it's families, couples, solo travelers, church groups, business, corporate travelers, government. You can craft your messages that speak directly to what they desire, where their needs are for, during winter season or for a winter getaway. All right, on slide 5, we're going to get into strategic messaging and those next steps. So now that we've discussed the importance of strategic messaging, let's look at some actionable next steps. So first, defining your winter experience, especially if it's different from your summer experience. I worked for a property that we had a winter website and a summer website. It was all part of the same website, but it had like the winter skin. So it was snowflakes. It was all about cross-country skiing and sleigh ride dinners and snowshoeing. And then the summer was more about summer activities. So, maybe your winter experience is exactly the same, or maybe it's a little bit different. And I think it's important to visually communicate that on your website or through your social media. So highlight what makes your business or town unique during these months, whether it's cozy inns like bed and breakfasts, or maybe you have access to trails that don't freeze over in the winter. I know here in Boone, a lot of our trails and really just we've had snow on the ground since right after Christmas, so it's nice to go places where we can see the grass again. Winter hikes, warm dining spots, special events or activities. So just think about your positioning, what sets you apart, and then bring that to top of mind, whether it's through the website or social media or newsletters. And then you want to look at your audience segments, who's coming to your destination, and is it different on the weekends versus during the week? I know one of the positions I had, actually a lot of my tourism positions, I would be off during the week and of course work on the weekends. And so I remember one winter I had Mondays and Tuesdays off. And at first I was kind of bummed about it, but I was always able to get my doctor's appointments. I was always able to go places without having to battle the crowd. So, think about who is coming to my destination or my business at what part of the week or what part of the year. Is it families? Is it kid-friendly activities? Is it couples midweek or adventure seekers? Is it over 55? Maybe they're retired and they can travel whenever. And so once you've identified those groups, craft a clear, simple message that's tailored to each. So, for example, maybe it's winter getaways for families or a romantic winter escape for two. That's a little plug for next week, which is going to be all about romantic getaways. So just throwing that out there. And then create a content calendar and be consistent. Choose a couple days a week to post winter focused messages, such as maybe Winter Wednesdays, or if there's a specific activity that you want to highlight, or maybe there's an upcoming event, and then schedule those posts or keep that calendar to help you stay on track. And then lastly, don't forget hashtags. It's very useful for discoverability. Find those popular hashtags, look at what maybe similar destinations or your competition is doing, and then add a few relevant hashtags to help increase your reach. All right, creative campaigns. I always love being creative. I think for years I just never thought of myself as a creative person, but I think all of us have that ability to be creative, and I think it just takes maybe stepping out of the norm, even if it's like for me, I like to go for a walk to help kind of get those creative juices flowing. But here's slide 6. We're going to look at creative campaigns because they're a great way to drive engagement, prompt action, and especially during those off-peak months when maybe there's some different things that you want to offer or highlight. So we can use these campaigns to create that sense of urgency or highlight, it's a great time to visit because it's less crowded, less expensive, especially after those busy holiday seasons. So I know I think about cozy getaways, simple pleasures like scenic views or maybe romantic dinners or something that keeps the kids happy and tired. Or you could offer like bundle deals, maybe pair lodging with meals. I know there was a place we used to go to that they had hot springs there. And in the summertime, everything was a la carte, but during the winter, they had a winter getaway package. It was always dinner for two, breakfast, the hot springs, and lodging. And it was about the same price as just the room in the summertime. So it's really cool that we were able to go there. And I know that increased, it became an annual thing for us. So, if you can promote winter events and do it at a reasonable cost, maybe it's theater performances where you are, or workshops. I know we also used to host a knitting group. And so they would come every November it was the low season, and they would basically come in and they would spend all weekend knitting and talking and drinking wine. And I think for us it was great because it was never weather dependent. They were always easy to take care of, and it was just kind of something different to have when we weren't as busy. And then don't forget the power of eye-catching visuals. You can use winter themed graphics, Canva's got a ton of stuff you can use and borrow, and capture the season's vibe and make people want to come to your destination. All right, so now that we've discussed creative campaigns, let's talk about how we make them happen. So these are some realistic next steps that you can get started on. Maybe you want to brainstorm some promotions like, last minute winter escape. If you know that you're not going to be full, if you have a lodge or some sort of destination that your availability is still there, you could also offer something like this weekend only, and that helps maybe get people in for a last minute. I know that even for us, my family and I, we don't always know what we're doing until we've made it through the week. There's just too much going on to really decide what we want to do until we know what the weather's going to be. We know if we've got the time and the bandwidth to be able to do something. So maybe tailor your promotion to a specific audience, test it out, see how it works. Maybe get more interest from families one weekend and more for romantic getaways another weekend. So, but keep it manageable. Designing the visuals doesn't have to be intimidating or complicated. You can use Canva to really help create something that's eye-catching. And if you need help, you can also look at the new pages under programs on the Uplift website. There's lots of webinars and Canva training. So check out those videos as well. And then incorporate those winter themes into your branding. And then finally, make sure that you're promoting your campaigns on social media. Post a couple times a week, just keep your audience engaged and excited about what's coming up next. And then you can also maybe team up with local businesses to help cross promote, and that will likely reach a wider audience and create some community support. All right, so maximizing local events and experiences. Looking at slide 8, local events are a great way to attract visitors in the wintertime. If you've got winter events going on, whether it's shows or festivals, cooking classes, or something else, make sure that they are front and center in your marketing. Collaborate with local businesses to cross-promote events, and it allows a great way to share those detailed winter event calendars on your website along with somebody else so that there's more of that promotion going on, and then across social media, of course. And if you're looking to drive group visits, you could also offer special rates for maybe 10 or more, 20 more, depending on what is most relevant to your business or destination. And then you can create new opportunities by getting together with your partners, with chambers, with the TVA to help brainstorm some fresh ideas that might be able to bring more tourists to your area, or look and see what some other places are doing. All right, so let's look at some ways that we can get started on maximizing our local events and experiences in our strategies. A great place to start is by creating a winter calendar. I will say, though, it's something that you need to be consistent with keeping up with. I know that for us, again, as a family with a couple of kiddos, we're always looking for things to do. And so we tend to use the same resources because we know that they're up to date and we know that we're going to find good things there. So if you are going to start a calendar, just make sure that you keep up with it and that you provide some good value there for the people coming to your website. So you could also contact local businesses and venues and organizations to find out maybe some lesser known events. Maybe there's some live music. Maybe there's like a chili cook-off or something going on that you're not normally aware of. Maybe there's some winter wine tastings. So, you can create your calendar in Google Calendar so that everyone can collaborate, and it's just a free resource to use and help everybody know what's going on in the town. And then once you have that list together, promote the events online regularly. You could even have like Facebook events, or you can have like a specific day of the week that you post upcoming events for the weekend. And then, utilize that event countdown feature like on Instagram stories. And that helps to lead up to the event and drive that interest. And then another way to get started is to partner with other businesses, brainstorm ideas that they're doing. Maybe there's a winter art walk, shopping trail. Another idea could be offering limited time perks, like maybe the first 30 people on the art walk gets a free coffee or hot cocoa, or maybe there's something for the kiddos. You can shop on the trail, like offering a small discount or takeaway, and that can really drive that engagement, make something more exciting. All right, so now that we've talked about that, let's think about some of the low-hanging fruit, people that have come to our business, whether it is during the winter or even in summer. So when we think about communicating with our winter tourism audience, one of the first questions that I ask is, who can I reach easily? So that I know that in the past I've spent a lot of time working on reaching new audiences or new customers. Retargeting past visitors is another very effective strategy to help boost those winter bookings with special offers, or just reminding your guests why visiting you or your destination is worthy of a trip. This really helps to make the most of your current audience and lets them know that you care, that you want to continue that relationship. And so while there is something to be said about exploring new places, and sometimes people really are just looking for something that's guaranteed, that positive experience. It's why we go to the same restaurants or the same hotel or even the same doctor year after year, if you kind of know what you're going to get. We want to be taken care of and not have to wonder if we're going to be going to a place where we may or may not enjoy the experience. So the key is to remind these visitors of the unique winter experiences that your destination has to offer. It's cost effective, easier to convert past visitors who are already familiar with your town or your business. So to make the most of this, create custom campaigns that promote tailored discounts, personalized packages, or exclusive offerings, and then make sure that your messaging is personalized. It helps to strengthen that connection. So I'm going to briefly pick on TurboTax here for a moment. I've been using them off and on for the last 10 or 15 years. Makes doing my taxes pretty easy. But I noticed this year that if you didn't file with them last year, you can file this year for free. And that's great. And I can appreciate the offer to kind of bring in new clients. But what does that do for me? So I don't know how I would do it differently other than I would make sure that my loyal customers felt valuable as well. So anyway, my point is to encourage you to speak either directly to your repeat clients or at least structure your communication in a way so that you don't make the other half feel less valuable. All right, looking at slide 11, retargeting past visitors and some next steps. You can create one targeted campaign for past visitors. For example, if you're going after families, maybe you craft a promotion like Winter Wonderland Adventure, Family Fun for All Ages. Make it specific to their interests, previous experiences. I know that, here in Western North Carolina, there's a lot of skiing and sledding experiences. I know our family, we love going to the Outer Banks. And when we went last year, we went to Jockey's Ridge and our kids got to join the Junior Ranger. So, just things like that really help to, define and specifically communicate with a certain segment like us as families. And then personalize your emails. A personal touch goes a long way. Reminding your visitors of their past experience. We would love to have you back. Hey, here's some new things that we're offering right now that might make them feel like they're valued and appreciated. And then don't forget to share winter testimonials and reviews from past visitors. Positive feedback that really encourages new bookings, also making your previous guest feel important. A great tip is to post these reviews with photos on social media and then tag those visitors with their permission, of course, to give it that extra personal touch. And then finally, engage with past visitors on their social platforms. That's where the discussion or the communication takes place. If they've shared content from their trip, you should like it, comment it, share it, and that helps keep the connection alive and encourages them to stay engaged with your destination as well. All right, so leveraging user-generated content. Let's take a quick look at this. We kind of touched on it in the last slide. This is created by your visitors. Photos, videos, reviews, social media posts. It builds that trust and authenticity. So when potential visitors see real people enjoying your destination, they're definitely more likely to trust your brand. It increases engagement. It also allows others and encourages others to interact and share their own experiences. Plus, it's cost effective. You don't have to create the content. A lot of times it gives you that new perspective as well. Boosts visibility and helps expand your reach. And I know for us, sometimes we'll see things in a different light because it's coming from a different lens, a different perspective. So it's good all the way around. And then to start leveraging that user-generated content, create a unique hashtag for your destination. So it could be like hashtag winter in Caswell, or winter vibes in Wilkes, or winter in Lumberton, whatever it might be. So display your hashtag on your signage, encourage visitors to use it, and then monitor it so that you can respond quickly and share that content. And then another thing you can do is encourage your visitors to share their experiences. You can ask them directly. I know a lot of times, if you're having conversations with your guests as they're heading out and you ask them about it, even just a quick suggestion. Hey, if you're going to post anything on social media, we'd love for you to tag us. Just something small like that really goes a long way. Then you could also run a contest or a visitor of the week promotion, really encouraging your visitors to be engaged, to feel valued, feel loved. And maybe you want to even surprise one of them with a feature on your channel or even a free night or something like that if you can afford it. And then finally start using user-generated content in your marketing materials and on your website. Share it in your newsletter, promotional materials, even on your homepage. But just make sure you ask for permission, of course. All right, here's some real life examples. I know for me, when I was at Chitola Resort, so this first one on the left in Blowing Rock, we had the polar bear plunge. That was part of Winterfest, which was started 20 plus years ago, where there just wasn't a lot going on up in the mountains besides the skiing during the wintertime. And so they decided to create a winter event, and it has become this huge thing where thousands of people come up every year for just something to do during the winter. So this is a fantastic example of leveraging those local events to boost winter tourism. It's unique. It attracts visitors of families, couples, solo, young, old, everything in between. And it also supports some local charities. And so Blowing Rock has done a great job of being able to share these details. They usually get some love from WBTV because they invite John Carter, who's usually the MC for the polar bear plunge, to come up, and then he tends to share a lot of information about it leading up to it. All right, the second example comes from Mass General, the original store being in Valley Crucis. It's a business that really excels at leveraging user-generated content. Happens to be down the road from Kara and I know that when you are there, you'll notice clear signage that encourages visitors to share their pictures on social media. All right, a couple more things here, and then we'll get wrapped up. So let's look at one more example from Palace Point in Person County. They promoted a free movie night with this great graphic you can see here on the slide. This winter vibes, snowflakes, the movies. And then, of course, for me as a parent, I see that you get a free Believe bill for the first 100 kids. So I know that I would want to show up early to make sure my kids got one of those. And then, of course, I see that they've got all the yummies like popcorn and that sort of thing. So just a cost-effective strategy. It's unique, something that gives families something to do. I know that the Appalachian Theater here in Boone, usually it's once a month, sometimes more. A local organization will sponsor a movie, so it's free. And so it's a great way to take my kids someplace where it doesn't cost a whole lot of money, and we get to do something fun together. All right, so let's look at those key takeaways. So to wrap things up, remember to focus on simple, accessible winter experiences that highlight the benefits of the season, whatever that might be. Fewer crowds, lower prices, and keep your messaging centered on these perks, because I know that a lot of times when people are looking for options, if it is less expensive or if it's going to be less crowded, I know those things can really cause people to make the move to come see you. Maximize those local partnerships, keep an updated events calendar, stay organized, use your existing customer data to retarget past visitors, offer them tailored promotions, and don't forget to leverage user-generated content if you can. It's a powerful, cost-effective way to build trust and engagement. And then, of course, we are going to continue Marketing Mondays Mastery throughout 2025, which we're very excited about. And again, really the difference between last year and this year is we're just taking all of the marketing content to the next level. We really want to make sure that we show some great examples to help you all put things into action, and also maybe share some case studies. And then we just want to know that we want you to know that we're here for you. So however we can help, please let us know. You can sign up for our next Marketing Monday Mastery just by scanning the QR code. And of course, we appreciate everybody joining us